Good morning, everyone. Welcome to springtime in North Carolina, huh? We're so delighted to be here this morning for this very special occasion as we honor four distinct ladies who have made such an impact not only on Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but the world. And we pause today to do that. Let me recognize Councilmember Jeff McIntosh and Councilmember John Larson, who are here today. And of course, we're joined by our Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Burke, whom you'll hear from in just a few moments. It's probably a little over a year ago that I was working to support the naming of Parkland Theater for Flonnie Anderson. And at that time, I felt like we should do something away from the school to recognize Miss Anderson as well. So I called Councilmember Burke, and we had a nice conversation and talked about that there are so many women artists and leaders in that regard here in Winston-Salem that perhaps this would be an opportunity for us to begin a process to recognize certain members of our community for the arts. We are the city of the arts and innovation. And part of the reason we can claim that moniker is because of the work of these four ladies that we are recognizing today. And as Abraham Lincoln, yes, thank you. Go ahead, that's worth an applause. Abraham Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address, it's altogether fitting and proper that we do this. And so I think it's altogether fitting and proper that we do this morning to recognize these individuals. And I will be recognizing them specifically. Right now, I'm going to ask our Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Vivian Burke, to come forward and make some greetings as well.
Good morning. And I have enough sense not to talk too long because I'm not feeling too well and I can't take this heat, I started to say heat, but this air. If it hadn't been for such a wonderful occasion, I would not have forgotten out of my bed this morning. This is a great day for our city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We are truly the city of the arts. We have so many wonderful people. And as I looked at Mr. Sparrow, I thought about the Arts Council. And as I think about these fine women, what they have contributed and given to this city, we're blessed. I'm sorry that Earlene King, one of the finest sculptors you want to find, is not here. But I'm sure her spirit is here with us. Some years ago, Earlene King, Kobe Haynes, Suzanne Baker, and Bud Baker, we served as honorary chairs of all that beauty you see on the other side to make this Arts Council one that people look at and say, such a good place in Winston-Salem for the arts. I know some of you have come to be with your family. I've known every last one, and I told Ms. Harris that I've admired her through the years. And I'm sure the mayor will tell you that when we bring up certain subjects, I say we have some very smart people, outstanding people in the city of Winston-Salem. And not to single out anybody, but I'm glad the former Rear Admiral Davis, who is the brother to Nell, he and his wife came from California to be here today. And when I thought about the Davis family, I thought about my neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, who were very fine, humble people, raised their 3 children to be fine adults. And I want to tell you, this is a happy day. And I pray that God will continue to move our city forward. And I congratulate all 4 ladies. And this evening, as the mayor will know, we're one of the few cities who stepped out to say there's a prominent place for women in Winston-Salem. And this evening, we will be recognizing 10 outstanding women leaders in this city. And we're the first city to have an official women's committee. And I want to thank the men on the council for voting for the things that's right for women in this city. All right, Mayor, I believe that I've taken enough time. So again, congratulations to all of you. And may God continue to bless this great city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Thank you, Councilmember Burke, and thank you for your leadership in this regard. And we wanted to do this in the month of March because it is Women's History Month in March, so we wanted to take advantage of that. We had hoped that the weather would have cooperated just a little bit more with us for that, but it's all right. We can make this happen there. So right now I want to introduce two individuals to make some very brief comments to sort of help set the stage for this. First of all, Susie McCauley is going to talk about the importance of women in the arts. Susie is a playwright herself, presented 2 plays in New York. She's a musician. She's written and produced an album last fall, as well as an actor. Matter of fact, she's doing a movie right now with Nathan Ross Freeman. And she is a successful businesswoman as well, founder and owner of the Breathing Room, a yoga and wellness studio. She'll be followed by Jim Sparrow, who is our wonderful president and CEO of the Winston-Salem County Arts Council. And Jim has been a true supporter of really expanding the whole arts community and opportunities here in Winston-Salem. So Susie and then Jim.
Thank y'all for having me today. In true millennial fashion, I will read off of my phone, so bear with me. One of the most famous political philosophers of the 20th century, Hannah Arendt, said, "If we do not know our history, we are doomed to live it out as if it were our own private fate." Growing up, I don't remember too many statues or plaques honoring women of any color. Women who've made significant impact in science, art, and political leadership were ignored by history for too long, which is why today is so important. As we shine a light on these incredible women whom we honor today, we are saying as a community that their contributions are important, that we value the work they have given their lives to, and that they are part of our history. Honoring the accomplishments of these 4 women is one small way that we can ensure that history does not continue to be written through the lens of racial and gender prejudices. Their plaques in this public space are signifiers of our values as a community. They mean that a little girl walking downtown in Winston-Salem will have a role model to look to who also looks like her. In a recent interview in the New York Times, the artist Judy Chicago says, "Before I get interested in somebody, they have to have a long, sustained career, because that's what real art grows out of. Not the make it dream, not bursts of youthful ingenuity, not critical acclaim, just continuing, no matter the circumstances, to make art. That," she said, "is what I admire." As an artist, an immigrant, and a woman, I thank Rosemary Harris, Flonnie T. Anderson, Nell Davis Britton, and Erlene King for their lifelong contributions in the arts. I thank them for leading with their examples of what is possible for women artists, myself included, and for giving us a vision to which we can all aspire. May we all be as committed as they to contributing and creating no matter what. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to be able to speak on behalf of these 4 ladies and the arts in general. I think the other thing that I'm very pleased with is so often we remember people when they're no longer with us, and with the exception of one of these women, it gives an opportunity to let people know that they're appreciated before we're doing it posthumously. So I applaud that. I think that's a great step. The only thing I have to add to the words that have already been said, and then the mayor coming up to talk specifically about these 4 incredible women, is that arts are about people. And I think the 4 individuals you see here, whether it's they're behind the scenes creating the art or making things happen, just as we hear the sounds of progress behind us, we're always aware of the fact that people are really what we're about when we're talking about the arts. And I think the 4 of these ladies are a great example, and we look forward to continuing that legacy as we move into the next 10, 15, 20, and 100 years with their leadership. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to turn it back over to talk about these 4 ladies.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for being with us today. So let's do what we're here to do, and that is to dedicate these wonderful plaques to these ladies. We're going to begin with Erlene King, and representing the King family is our associate pastor of First Baptist Church up on 5th Street, Amy McClure. So Amy, you want to come up? Thank you. We got the plaque there, Linda. So we're going to present a plaque with the language for each one of the honorees today. So Earlene King, May 11th, 1913 to June 27th, 2011. The work of this prolific Winston-Salem sculptor is exhibited in international galleries. During her career, Earlene Heath King completed 345 private commissions and public art works, including statues of Bowman Gray, Dr. Simon Green Atkins, and a man on a horse inspired by R.J. Reynolds. King also designed special memorials. One honors the lives of 3 Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center air crew members who died in a helicopter crash. Another, which she described as her favorite, was that of Commodore Funderburk, a blind gentleman who worked for 41 years at Winston-Salem's Industries for the Blind, and it sits outside the company's front entrance. On her 90th birthday, North Carolina Governor Mike Easley presented her with the Order of the Longleaf Pine, one of the highest honors a governor can bestow on a North Carolina citizen. The Winston-Salem Arts Council also named its sculpture and pottery studio in the Milton Road Center for the Center for the Arts for Mrs. King. So, Amy, thank you for accepting this on behalf of the King family. Would you like to say a word?
Thank you so much. We are certainly grateful for the community here at Winston-Salem. Again, my name is Amy McClure, and I'm one of our associate pastors at First Baptist Church on 5th Street, and I'm joined today by one of our other associate pastors, David Williamson, who works with our arts ministry here in Winston-Salem. So I'm glad that he is here with me. We also want to say thank you to Mayor Joines and Councilwoman Burke. Thank you so much for hosting this great thing today. It is amazing the ways that women, especially the women here today, have pursued their passion. And by pursuing their passion, have paved a way for other women like myself and our senior pastor to do what God has called us to do. Whether they knew they were doing that or not, they actually paved the path for us to do that. And so it's amazing to watch this culture of equality being formed for both men and women. We are certainly a faith community here in the heart of the city, and Miss King was a member of our church for 64 years. And so in the last year of her life, she was working on a sculpture, which was a sculpture of Jesus with his hands stretched out facing the heart of the city. And in that, she wanted to inscribe the verse that talks about, "Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And I cannot think of a better image to describe Miss King's love of God and of the city and of this world. And so we are grateful for that work. It was not a completed work because she passed away, but that gives you a glimpse into what Miss King thought of this community in particular. So here at First on 5th, we continued this legacy that Miss King left for us, which is a love of the arts and how we can partner with our city and serve you best. So for the life of Earlene King, I know you will join me on behalf of First Baptist Church on 5th in saying thanks be to God.
Thank you, Amy. And David, thank you for being with us today. Now I'd like to ask Flonnie Anderson, would you please come up? She's good.
Okay,
The play must go on, right?
the play goes on.
So, Flonnie Anderson, born March 5th, 1930. Flonnie Anderson used theater to break area racial barriers. She formed the Community Players Guild in 1952, which was the first black community theater troupe in the South. Later, she expanded it to the Flonnie Anderson Theatrical Association in 1981. Anderson was the first black actor to perform with the Little Theater of Winston-Salem, playing Tituba in the Crucible 1956. She also became the company's first black director. Her performances won numerous awards, and her portrayal of Sojourner Truth in We the People, which was a PBS special in 1976, captivated a national audience. This veteran educator in the Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Public School System took Anderson High School's all-black speech team to the Wake Forest University High School Speech Festival, where they won the first of many sweepstakes awards. Must be some of the team right there. She also formed and directed the Parkland Players, Parkland High School's first integrated theater troupe. which was in 1970s. They actually performed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. during the nation's 1976 bicentennial celebration. Upon her retirement after 31 years, the Board of Education named the Parkland Magnet Auditorium in her honor. Mayor Allen Joines recognized Ms. Anderson's theatrical contributions with a proclamation in March of 2016. So, Ms. Anderson, thank you for what you meant to our city, and thank you for what you're doing. Would you like me to hold this for you while you make your comments?
Thank you, Mayor. You know what to do, and you know what to say. I know that his remarks about me were really in competition with what always happens in this art city. Things are going on, and we know that things are going on because they are important to the people here in Winston-Salem. I mean, to be really on the same kind of celebration with these women is really special, very special. I am just so honored, Mayor, to be just a small part of that beacon of light that Winston-Salem has always shown me since I came home from college at 19 years old and wanted to establish a theater, community theater, for the people across 52. I had the cooperation of this city from day one, and it has never stopped. So I want to say thank you to the Arts Council, to the city of Winston-Salem, to the mayors who have really been the challenge for all of us to keep the arts out front. The arts are important. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Well said. Now I'd ask Nell Britton, would you please come forward? Nell Davis Britton, February 24th, 1938. This award-winning poetry slam artist is known for telling powerful stories of human struggles and triumphs. She competed nationally and in the late 1990s captured a championship in the Southern Fried Regional Poetry Slam Festival. Britton also performed one-woman shows depicting remarkable black women in American history across North Carolina and beyond. In the 1980s, she teamed up with Larry Leon Hamlin, who we know is the founder of North Carolina Black Rep Company, to start a living room theater in many of Winston-Salem's private homes. About the same time, Britton opened a dinner theater under her venture, Nell Light Productions. It produced literary and poetic art events. This published author of several poetry books also wrote and scored musicals, including To Build a Dream, The True Story of George Henry Black. During her career, Britton also taught theater arts, creative writing, and literature at R.J. Reynolds Senior High School. She served for 20 years, and many consider Britton the school's poet laureate. So, Nell, thank you and congratulations to you. And would you please say a few words for us?
Okay, thank you. I always dreamed of the many things that I wanted to be and do, but I never thought I would be standing here talking to you. We have a great city and a great mayor, and our leaders are wonderful as well. And I am pleased that we could be the first, and I hope that I will be here to see many others honored in this way. And I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank the mayor for recognizing us. And I want to thank my family that have supported me in times when people were not being into theater was not fashionable, and some of the things that we did. So thank you, and thank all of you for coming. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Nell. Great job. Thank you, Miss Britton. Now I must ask Miss Harris, would you come forward, please? Good morning. Rosemary Harris, an international film, television, and award-winning Broadway actress. Yes, go ahead. At 25, Rosemary Harris dazzled Broadway audiences in the 1952 production of Climate of Eden. Some of her most notable works includes The 7-Year Itch, Eleanor of Aquitaine, and Tom and Viv, for which she received a Best Supporting Actress Academy Award. Yes. Whereas Harris is listed in the American Theater Hall of Fame 1986, and is a 4-time Drama Desk Award winner and a 9-time Tony Award nominee. In 1966, Harris won the Tony Award for Best Actress in the play The Lion in Winter. Yes. She also received an Emmy Award for her role in Notorious Women and a Golden Globe Award for her role in the 1978 television miniseries Holocaust. From 2002 to 2007, she starred on the big screen in the Spider-Man trilogy as Aunt May Parker. It was Peter Parker's nurturing adoptive mother. Harris and her husband, of course, renowned American author John Yulee, settled in Winston-Salem, where they raised their daughter Jennifer, who is also a Broadway actress and a Tony Award nominee. Ms. Harris, thank you for being a part of Winston-Salem, and would you please say a word too?
Thank you so much.
I'll hold this for you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you all for being here. I'm so glad it's not snowing. What can I say? Winston-Salem has meant an awful lot to me. Excuse me.
Okay.
I lived in New York, and John and I, sorry, I'll pull myself together in a minute, have been married for 50 years. So for 50 years, Winston-Salem has been my adopted city, and I am so grateful to it because it gave me John, and it gave us our daughter. And I'd like to also say that amongst all of you, I'm probably the only immigrant here. And I'm proud to be one. And I immigrated in 1952 on the very first Queen Mary. And we came up on deck and we saw the pillars and the towers of not North Carolina, of New York City, and it was very exciting. And I am so glad and grateful not only to America but particularly to Winston-Salem because it has given me my life. And I thank you all for this honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Harris. So let's please give these recognition folks here, award winners, if you will, another round of applause, please. Winston-Salem is truly enriched by all of your presence here, and as Susie said, you set a great example for young people who will be able to see these. I want to thank my assistant, Linda Barnes, for her hard work in making all this happen, and to Ed McNeil. Yes, that's Ed McNeil and his staff for helping pull all this together. And thank you all for coming today and as we share this special day in the history of Winston-Salem and our culture. So have a wonderful day.